And we are live. Welcome back to the James McGee Show. I'm your host. I am James McGee. And it's Sunday, and no, it's not Wine Wednesday, but it's wine. So that's wine while we discuss this topic, which kind of needs a glass of wine to talk. But when I got to decided to do this, the main reason is I have a lot of opinions, I have a lot to say. I'm not going to be held hostage by anyone. I'm not going to be bullied by anyone. And I'm going to say the things that I feel need to be said. So I'm going to cover, first off, I always say what I'm drinking. I'm drinking a cab. Actually, it's a cab that I made personally 2 years ago. I get into things, and I got into winemaking for a little while, and I still have some that I need to make. And so I'm drinking a cab that I made. It's some grapes out of California. So I'm going to talk about, it's 5 years today that George Floyd died of an overdose. And I say that every time that I mention it because it's the truth. I don't care what the liberal mafia, what the mainstream media feeds us, or what they try to shove down our throat, because we believed it for a very long time. I believed it. You know, I'm going to tell some stories tonight about some situations that I had, but I was a commander here, and I was incident commander of some of the protests we had here. I bought into it. At that point, I bought into it. It's because they only tell you what they want you to hear. They package this thing up, but the truth is, hey Tyler, glad you could join us, brother. The truth is, he died of a drug overdose. So I don't normally cover local things on my show, and I don't get into a whole lot of local politics anymore. Spent a long time in local politics and local, as a retired from sheriff's office. I spent some time as the chief of staff of the DA upon retirement, but I don't get into a lot of local stuff. But there's a local incident that ties into this. That's a total tragedy that I'm going to begin with tonight and talk about tonight. So I live in a city, Lake Charles, Louisiana. We are on the complete opposite of New Orleans. We're actually right here on the Texas line. I'm closer to Houston than I am New Orleans. So the city is about 100,000 people, fairly safe city. The metropolitan area, the parish, very conservative. The city is a little more, I don't know, liberal, but not as conservative as the rest of the parish. So this past Tuesday, there was a complete tragedy. A 16-year-old Black female young lady was murdered. She was at a party. Now, there's not a lot of information out there. The police they haven't released a lot. I'm on their side. They shouldn't. This is a very big investigation. With a lot of people, from what I've been told, there was upwards of 100 people at this party. There was looked like a shootout. Over 50 shots were fired. And this 16-year-old young lady was killed. It's a total tragedy. The principal, the school that she went to, she was loved. She was an athlete. The principal released a statement. The school is just totally they're just distraught, and my thoughts goes out to them. I know of the principal; he's a good guy, and my thoughts go out to them. But here's my issue. Our local news station has barely covered this. They have ran one story. It's been 5 days. Where is the outrage? Also, the information that I got was most of the people at this party were Black youth, male and female. I don't know if there were any white people, but there were predominantly teenagers, Black teenagers that were there. A young lady with her whole future in front of her was gunned down in a total senseless crime. Where's the outrage? I've seen nothing. I've seen some people post from the school. Our news, our pathetic KPLC news, ran one time, one story. I have not seen any of our city council leaders. I'm gonna call them out. So a couple of them were friends of mine. A couple of the Black councilmen are friends of mine. I'm gonna call them out. Where are y'all at? There's 7 people in the city council. 4 of them are Black. It's pretty much in the city limits. It's 50-50 white, Black. So I served when I served as a chief of staff for the district attorney, and when I was a commander for 17 years at our sheriff's office. When I served those years, I was involved in several meetings with Black activists, pastors, other leaders, and we were always very transparent. They always came if there was a use of force incident that somebody called them about from a police officer. If there was a shooting, they all came, and they all were wanting information, and some of them, man, most of them were really, they understood. We haven't had a bad shooting here. Some of them were unreasonable, most of them weren't. But I have not seen one of them. I have not seen one of them. Where is the outrage? Where is the outrage? So I say this, and it's unpopular sometimes when I say it. I don't care. I'm going to say it. There's groups of people that keep hollering Black Lives Matter. Who do they matter to? And what Black Lives Matter? Who are they mattering to? This from all accounts, from what I've seen so far, to the race baiters, to the people who are always yelling and screaming when it's a white cop that is forced to use force on someone Black. Where are you at? This Black life didn't matter to you? About 2 months ago, and the timing was pretty suspect because it was a mayor's race. And our city just elected the first Black mayor in the city. The police chief was up for his contract to be renewed. And these same city councilmen, who again, I have respect for, friends of mine, a couple of them I supported politically when I was involved in politics. They were not wanting to, or they were debating on and considering not renewing the contract for the police chief because of the way that they felt Black people were treated by this police department. Now, in the middle of a mayor's race, timing was a little suspect to me, but who am I to say that? I didn't have anything to go on other than my opinion. Well, where are y'all at now, Lake Charles City Councilman? Where are y'all? I'm not going to name specific names, but they know who they are. Where are y'all? Where are the black pastors? Did this young lady's life matter? You know, I mentioned I was the incident commander. We had a protest here, a couple thousand people, which is a lot. Lake Charles does not protest. We're not real radical, but there was a protest, and I was the incident commander, and it was a couple thousand people. It was peaceful. They followed the guidelines we had said. Met with them before, but I'm asking y'all, where y'all at? Y'all marched 5 years ago. Y'all marched on behalf of George Floyd, who did not live here, y'all did not know, who was a drug addict, who was a violent criminal, but his life mattered. Why didn't this young girl's life matter? KPLC, I'm gonna call your sorry ass out for sure. Y'all, it doesn't matter, nothing matters. Y'all become so absolutely liberal and falling into the mainstream national media. Y'all did, since Tuesday, y'all reported this one time. Didn't go interview anybody in the community. Where's the outrage? Why haven't y'all reported it more? Y'all are more concerned. Since Tuesday, y'all have done 3 stories on our local university, McNeese State University, who has sucked millions of dollars out of a local millionaire, and at his death is trying to suck millions of more dollars from him. Y'all reported on that 3 times this week. But let a white cop have to shoot someone. Let a white cop have to take the life of someone black. Their life mattered. Why didn't this girl's life matter? And I mention this locally because this is consistent with the rest of the nation. This happens all over the nation, and just so happening in my hometown right now. Let's talk about Tyree Nichols before I dive into more about George Floyd and the facts of why I can sit here and have the facts to show that he died of a drug overdose. Tyree Nichols was killed by 4 Memphis police officers. And I did a show on that when it happened. They beat the brakes off of Tyree Nichols, beat him to death. He died of blunt force trauma to the head. He just went to trial and was in it. And the 4 officers, well, 3 of them, 1 had pled. The 4 officers were found not guilty. Where's the outrage on that? The 4 cops were black. Tyree Nichols' life didn't matter. But George Floyd's life mattered. A drug addict, a criminal, a lifelong criminal, could put a gun to the stomach of a pregnant lady. So let's get into the facts of this. Like I said earlier, I was hook, line, and sinker like the rest of the world. Because of what they showed us, what they released. And this was all a big conspiracy with Tim Walz, who is one of the sorriest human beings ever walked the face of the earth, and Keith Ellis, the Attorney General, who is just as sorry. Evidence was hidden. They did not release. They released the body cam footage of what they wanted you to see. So before anybody starts wanting to debate, and I'd love for people to debate this with me. I don't debate topics unless I've educated myself. I've watched every minute, hours of body cam footage. Not the unless that, or at least you follow me. I don't want to hear a fucking thing out of your mouth. I'll debate with you, but I'm going to shame you because it'll be your homework. Mouth. Why are these cops 5 years later? Why is Derek Chauvin still in prison? The autopsy. Narrative. You stand politically. We cannot tolerate any time and that there have been innocent people, innocent black people who do. You don't get a, well, it happened to us, it happened to them. We have got to stand together, whether it's black, whether it's white. We have got to stand together. Because of injustice. Yeah, Tom, I'm kind of catching wind of that a little bit, but I guess my Wi-Fi is a little off tonight, so I may wrap it up in a little bit. But what I wanted, main thing to get on here tonight and say is, we have, if Black lives are going to matter, and they do, all lives matter, then every Black life matters. Not when it fits the narrative. Not when it fits their narrative. It doesn't only matter then. It doesn't only matter when it's a white cop killing someone black. Matters with this young girl who was just senselessly killed, had her whole life ahead of her. Tyree Nichols, and the list goes on. Lives matter, period. Every life. Not just the ones that the liberal mafia, the mainstream media, wants to matter when it fits their narrative. So that's pretty much all I have tonight. It's the 5th year anniversary. I'm doing Man's Man Monday tomorrow. I have a first guest that's ever been, I first guest for Man's Man Monday. I have a local gym owner who's coming on to talk about an event that he is doing. And again, it's a local event, but I'm covering it because the reason why he's doing it's Memorial Day too, and he's a veteran and he's real passionate about that. The reason why he's doing his event is what is attracting me to have him on a show for Man's Man Monday. So I appreciate everyone that joined us tonight. I'm gonna say it again. If Black Lives Matter, and they do, all lives matter, but if we keep hearing Black Lives Matter, who do they matter to? And what Black Lives Matter? Appreciate everyone joining us. Tyler, good hearing from you. And Until tomorrow, McGee is out.